Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from the Skill Builder channel, and I've been asked by Ironmongery Direct to give you my views on apprenticeships and answer a couple of questions. Now, if you don't know Ironmongery Direct, it's probably because you haven't been in the building industry that long, because most people in the building industry know them, and a lot of people like me use them. I've been using them for years. They've got a great catalogue full of all kinds of, well, ironmongery basically. So how do I feel about apprenticeships? Well, I've got to start by saying that some apprenticeships are really not proper apprenticeships. They're a way of getting cheap labour. So if you're looking for an apprenticeship, you have to make sure that it has an element of education in it. In other words, you need to go to college at least one day a week on day release or even block release, and you need to get some proper tuition. I think for too long this country has neglected its young people and failed to train them. We've relied on cheap imported labour from all over the place to fill our chronic skills shortage. So it's very, very important, and the government is at last getting behind the apprenticeship scheme, and they're starting to view training as a very, very important priority. Now, I well remember, even though it was a long time ago, when I started out in the building industry and got my apprenticeship as a plumber. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't a very happy experience, because the old guy that I was working with, he was near retirement. He really didn't want an apprentice. He was that far removed from the younger generation, if you like, that he really didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to know, he didn't teach me anything. Basically, he ignored me for about 3 months until he got rid of me, and that was his tactic. So I can't blame him, because, you know, young kids, sometimes they're a bit of a pain. But if you can find somebody who will give you a good apprenticeship, and that's got to include an element of education, it's got to be more than just using you as cheap labour. You need to go to college, you need the whole thing to be structured, and more importantly, you need to make sure you get some meaningful qualifications at the end of it. And if you can do that, then I think an apprenticeship is a very good thing. So how do you go about finding an apprentice if you're a builder? Well, one thing, you can go to the CITB and you can talk to them about the various schemes that are in place, so you know what kind of government grants you're going to get, for example. But of course, don't go looking for an apprenticeship. They should really come to you. The proactive ones are going to be contacting you. I get contacted all the time by young people looking for an apprenticeship, and you can tell a lot just by the way they contact you. And if they're willing to do that legwork, if they're willing to send out the letters or the emails to contact you and ask politely for an apprenticeship, then they're the people you're looking for. Of course, you can go to the colleges, you can talk to the college instructors and say, who's a good person, who should I be looking at, because they'll be able to give you a bit of guidance there. But as I say, every time it's the proactive ones I like. And don't forget that you've really got to look after these kids. When they're coming onto the building site, they're not experienced, and you don't want to be putting them in danger. So you've got to make sure that you look at all the health and safety, that you equip them properly, that they've got safety shoes, they've got hard hat and everything else that they need, the high vis, to make sure that they stay safe. So if you're a young person looking for an apprenticeship, what advice can I give you? Well, first thing, I've already covered it really, which is to be proactive, to get out there and look and make sure you present yourself properly. And don't forget that that person isn't employing you because they love you, they're employing you because they need some help, because you've got to add value to their business. They're putting some investment into you. They're not going to get much out of you for a good long time. It's going to take several years before you become really useful to them. And in that time, if you can sweep up, make the tea, just make sure you're active, even if it's washing the van down, if you've got nothing else to do. But one thing, do not sit around, do not get your phone out every 5 minutes. Make yourself useful to that person, and they will be useful to you.